Tonight, cameras off.
I'm glad that the speed cameras aren't there. It felt like a bit of a cash grab.
I think I can see they do their work, right? I've seen people slow down, I've slowed down, everyone slows down.
Day one of the shift toward the province's new plan for street safety. An officer's prolonged fight to keep his job. A hearing delves into Corey MacArthur's history with Guelph Police. 2.2%.
Affordability is top of mind for our residents.
Kitchener's proposed tax hike in a budget that the public has 12 days to weigh in on. Good evening. The cameras are still up, but no pictures are being taken. It's the end of automated speed enforcement cameras in Ontario, including 28 of the cameras in Waterloo Region and another 12 which are in Guelph. CTV's Jeff Pickle back on this story for us tonight, joining us live from Kitchener. Jeff, you were out getting some reaction today. What were people saying?
Well, Tony, a little bit of a mixed bag here. Some saying they think that the ending of this program was a mistake. Others say they're very happy to see it go. But nearly everyone I spoke with said they would be fine with cameras if there was some flexibility around when they were used.
A sigh of relief for some drivers.
I did get dinged, but only once, surprisingly. It wasn't even in town. It was in Drayton.
As the eye in the sky closes around community safety zones.
I think I would say at first I was a little skeptical on speed cameras, mainly because, hey, you had to slow down and I got a ticket.
In place of cameras, there will be signs. The region says the community can expect new provincially mandated school zone signage to be installed across the 28 school zones where speed cameras were used. The province providing the signage, which is expected to go up over the coming days and weeks as the cameras come down. The region says tickets issued on or before November 13th remain valid. Speed camera tickets may be received in the mail on or after November 14th, and vehicle owners are responsible for paying or disputing a ticket by the date indicated on the ticket. Reaction over the ending of the ASE program mixed.
I'm glad that the speed cameras aren't there. It felt like a bit of a cash grab.
It does the job, so they're annoying, right? But I'm glad we have them for the safety of the kids.
Parents say speed is a factor at some schools.
We've seen a lot of people drive really fast and kind of aggressive.
Those against speed cameras say it's more of an issue of their operations than the concept.
I would be more comfortable with speed cameras if they were more geared to time of day, for example, right? Like off on the weekends.
For now, the region is asking people to obey posted limits, especially in school and community safety zones.
And some asked us about the effectiveness of speed cameras. Yesterday, we spoke to the city of Guelph, and they said that compliance in school zones went from 33% to 80% after the introduction of speed cameras. Now the province is hopeful that they can have a similar impact on speed, putting in things like speed bumps and roundabouts, although those things won't be fining people, which is the main idea behind this move in the first place. Tony?
Okay, CTV's Jeff Pickle near one of those now turned off speed cameras. Jeff, thank you very much for that. And a 52-year-old Hamilton crossing guard is dead after being hit by a dump truck yesterday afternoon. That crash happened around 2:30 p.m. yesterday at Mohawk Road and Upper Wentworth Street. Police say the male crossing guard, who worked for the city of Hamilton, died at the scene. The driver involved remained. The Ministry of Labour has been brought in to investigate. Time for a first check on the weather on this Friday. Let's head over to Karis Map, joining us once again in studio with all the latest. You know, today was the day that I actually remembered to bring my parka along, and it may have been the day that I don't need it because it feels milder today.
Actually, during all of November, I would say is a good day to bring your parka along. A little bit of everything we've been seeing: sunshine, rain, even some snow. So definitely pack your parka every single day. Do not forget about it. Looking at our satellite radar right now, as we saw earlier today, the cloud coverage coverage. You know, there were moments of the snow, not snow, oh my goodness, not yet. The sun peeking out through those clouds, so I hope you enjoyed that while it was there. The clouds will continue, though. That's something that we're going to see for the remainder of the weekend. Looking at temperatures now, it was a beautiful day with the sun, and the temperature kind of complemented that as well. 6 degrees right now in Waterloo Region. We actually ended up getting up to 7 degrees around 1 o'clock, so it was nice to feel those warmer temperatures, not as cool as we felt earlier throughout the week. North of us, though, all the way up in Wyerton, they're feeling a little bit chillier. Southwest, Windsor, Sarnia, Ridgetown, feeling that warmth, but good news, we could be also seeing some +10 temperatures that could be coming up this weekend, even though there could be some chillier and wet weather. Tony.
All right, Karis, we'll get those details shortly. Thank you. A warning, this next story contains video of an assault in a hospital that some may find disturbing. A Guelph police constable's history and actions were once again analyzed today as Corey MacArthur fights to keep his job more than 9 years after the admitted assault took place. CTV's Krista Simpson reports.
Constable Corey MacArthur has pleaded guilty to discreditable conduct in the September 2016 incident, captured on Guelph General Hospital surveillance cameras. MacArthur was helping with a teen in distress, handcuffed to a gurney. The teen kneed the officer. MacArthur responded with a swift elbow. MacArthur pleaded guilty in court to assault in the incident, blaming his actions on post-traumatic stress disorder, undiagnosed at the time but caused by the death of his colleague, Constable Jennifer Kovach. Guelph police are seeking to dismiss him. Testifying at his penalty hearing, Dr. Peter Collins, an expert in forensic psychiatry who was not allowed to assess MacArthur but was asked by Guelph police to review his extensive files. Friday, in cross-examination with MacArthur's lawyer, the hearing went through MacArthur's medical records and assessments with numerous doctors. Also raised were MacArthur's performance reviews at work, specifically two done between 2005 and 2007, where concerns were noted about MacArthur's use of force during some arrests involving aggressive suspects. One noting Corey has always been able to articulate his reasoning for his use of force. MacArthur's lawyer raised that the reviews were otherwise overall positive, describing MacArthur as calm, level-headed, professional, and reliable. Collins said there was aggression that was of some concern. If it was not of any concern, it would not have been raised in the evaluations. Collins says he's not disputing that MacArthur has a diagnosis of PTSD, identified after the 2016 assault incident, but he does not believe that caused MacArthur to act the way he did in that hospital room, saying, "We do get circumstances where people will use real symptoms to explain their behavior. I don't even see these symptoms of being able to explain the behavior because it was quick, reflexive, but still goal-directed." And while angry outbursts may be a symptom of PTSD, that is different than violence. People can be angry, but that doesn't result in assaultive behavior, Collins said, later describing MacArthur's actions this way. He had a short fuse. He reacted. I can't put a PTSD overlay on this. This hearing began back in July 2024. It is scheduled to resume on November 24th to continue the cross-examination of Dr. Collins. Krista Simpson, CTV News, Guelph.
Ontario's opposition parties are raising concerns over changes they say would allow the Ford government to take over Exhibition Place along the Toronto Lakeshore. The government says that's not the case and that the changes are only meant to ensure work at Ontario Place can proceed smoothly. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris reports.
It was just a few lines in last week's fall economic statement, but enough to set off alarm bells for the opposition. Tweaks to the Rebuilding Ontario Place Act.
Exhibition Place would fall under the same bill that's governed Ontario Place, and it would allow the government, just like they did at Ontario Place, basically to break any provincial or municipal law that they want.
The grounds across the street from Ontario Place, home to the CNE, BMO Field, and hundreds of events every year, they're owned by the City of Toronto.
We are looking very closely to understand what the facts are with the province and its approach in the fall economic statement to Exhibition Place.
Because city officials say they haven't been filled in.
Why the secrecy? Why bury this in the middle of a budget bill?
The Office of Ontario's Minister of Tourism handling the Ontario Place makeover writes, to be clear, we are not taking over Exhibition Place. These legislative amendments are intended to be a backstop measure for all authorities in partnership to work together to rebuild Ontario Place in a timely manner.
These provisions could allow the province to run new power lines, deal with water issues between the exhibition grounds and Ontario Place without a series of meetings.
To be honest, Siobhan, I was gobsmacked.
Opponents of the Ontario Place overhaul not encouraged by the province's approach.
Making sure there are no possible obstructions or slowdowns to this very unpopular project. And in order to do that, they're concentrating power and steamrolling other layers of government.
The city stresses this wasn't part of the New Deal reached between the mayor and premier 2 years ago. While cooperation is important,
The exhibition place grounds are a key city asset, and they have to remain in city hands.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Sign up for the CTV Kitchener newsletter and start your day in the know. The day's top stories, the latest forecast, and must-see videos right to your inbox. Sign up over at ctvnewskitchener.ca. Making a list and cutting it down. Coming up, CTV's Heather Centerin hears from shoppers about these tough economic times and the choices being made for the upcoming season.
We saw glimpses of sunshine throughout the day today, but the clouds have rolled in and it looks like they're here to stay. Coming up later in the show, I'll have your weekend forecast that could see rain and even some snow.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. ctvkitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
We're getting a first look at Kitchener's proposed city budget for next year and the tax hike that it would bring for homeowners. CTV's Ashley Bacon breaks down the numbers that the mayor and council are about to consider soon.
The City of Kitchener releasing its draft 2026 budget.
The fact that we've been able to achieve a 2.2% increase in 2026 with all the pressures and economic uncertainty around us, I think is a significant achievement.
The budget is being introduced using strong mayor powers because it's being passed before February 1st. But there will still be time for the public and council to suggest amendments before it's implemented. Some key numbers are property tax increases of 2.2%, which works out to around $29 annually. Water utility rate increases of 4.9% or $24 annually. Sanitary sewer utilities increases of 7% or $45 annually, and stormwater utility rates increased of 7.4% or $19 annually, meaning a total increase of $117 annually. When asked if the 2.2 tax increase is a reflection of economic pressures, city staff say they've worked to keep the costs affordable.
Our tax increases have always been very much in line with that inflationary target that we have. And the way we do that is we average the current year and the previous year's inflation.
This is the approach that we take every year. We need to assess what are those pressures that we're facing within the budget, but also being reasonable in terms of, new things that we're adding into the budget, things that we need to continue to make progress on, and finding that right balance.
Mayor Barry Rabanovic hoping other levels of government will step up financially for municipalities to help keep future increases down.
One of the things we know that needs to change is, quite frankly, the fiscal relationship between the federal, provincial governments and municipalities of all sizes across the country.
Council will be presented the budget on November 24th, and for residents, they'll have until the 26th to submit feedback through a survey online. Ashley Bacon, CTV News, Kitchener.
Some Canadian soccer legends were taking the pitch today, leading a girls' youth soccer clinic ahead of the National Super League final this weekend. CTV's John Musselman has more on the goal behind this event.
It was a chance to work on skills under the watchful eyes of some of Canada's most celebrated soccer players, including soccer legend Christine Sinclair. A community practice for nearly 50 young girls inside the bubble at Lamport Stadium.
I'm really excited about meeting Christine.
Why?
It's just because she's a really good soccer player.
Local minor coaches say the growth of girls soccer is exploding, and Sinclair is a major reason why.
They were absolutely buzzing. We came on the bus together, and just knowing that she was going to be here, walking around, they were just loving it.
I'm a firm believer you need to see it to believe it, and these young kids up until this year had nowhere to watch, professional women's soccer, and that has all changed. And events like this, give these kids a first-hand chance to meet some of their heroes, get pictures, autographs, things like that. And I remember those moments as a kid, and they can be life-changing.
It's like a team sport where you can all play together.
Do you want to be a professional one day?
Yeah.
How much hard work do you think it'll take?
A lot.
Do you think you can do it?
Yeah.
The event was organized by officials with the Northern Super League and Canadian Tire ahead of tomorrow's first ever championship game of Canada's top-level women's league. Toronto will take on Vancouver at BMO Field.
Community is so important to the NSL. It's in our values, and so really being able to show up for the market where we're hosting NSL final, it was really critical that we participate and make sure that the little kids were involved in some capacity.
For these young soccer players, it was a special day to meet new friends, showcase their skills, and have a bit of fun. John Musselman, CTV News.
All right, we have a live look outside in Kitchener tonight on a very busy Weber Street on this Friday night. It's been a pretty mild day compared to what we've seen over the last couple of weeks. What's the weekend got in store for us? Karis Mapp is back in just a couple of moments to talk about the long-range forecast with us. Also ahead, breaking down barriers with a big league backdrop. We will drop in and see the incredible chance that some young hockey players had today to enjoy the game. But next, texting scams, new research on just how often they're happening and why one generation in particular is now more at risk. All right, Karis is with us now for the 7-day forecast. Good to have you back. And I heard you and Leanne chatting earlier about having those Friday feels. I'm getting there.
Fry-yay feels.
Fry-yay feels.
Yes.
I'm catching up with the rest of you because, of course, it's a bit of a rush to the finish line when I get in here in the afternoon. But then I start to remember the weekend
begins.
It's not far off.
We're
and
so close.
We might have a little bit of rain to contend with tomorrow, but hey, those temperatures, that mild air is going to feel nice.
I was saying to Leanne, you got to give a little to get a little. You might not get the best temperatures, but a little sunshine like we saw today. It actually wasn't bad today, so I don't want anyone to think I'm complaining. But even as we're seeing right now, we had mostly cloud coverage. The sun was peeking through. Now sunset completely done. Beautiful cloud coverage. It's crazy. Like I was saying to Leanne during the 5, even the first live shot, we saw that sunset. Within minutes, it was dark. And here we are. We are in the abyss. It is dark, but it's really nice. There's no precipitation in the forecast tonight. It's no rain, nothing like that. Just kind of not necessarily clear skies, but the clouds will be peeking through for the remainder of the night. And looking ahead to our future forecast now, as I mentioned, clouds making their way through. Clear skies for most of the evening. The clouds will come through. Actually, they're going to come through pretty heavy around Saturday, tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. So we're starting to see that heavier cloud coverage. There is some Santa Claus parades happening tomorrow. So I bring an umbrella, but it's going to be relatively nice, as Tony and I just said. Some precipitation also making its way through it. As we see here, it gets very green on the screen by Saturday afternoon. Hopefully that first parade has wrapped up a little bit. But yeah, especially north of us, Wyerton, Orillia, Barrie, getting some heavier rain for sure. There is a risk of a thunderstorm tomorrow afternoon as well. So just keep that in mind. And we're going to flash forward all the way to Sunday evening. That's when we're going to see some flurries. As we see, the snow is making its way to Waterloo Region. Places south of us, like Port Stanley, London, they're not going to get hit too hard with the snow, but we definitely could get some flurries. So just prepare for that. Focusing on temperatures now, we've seen the temperature drop. The sun has set. It's now 3 degrees in Waterloo Region, 3 in Mount Forest, Wyerton, Goderich, 2. South of us, though, they're still holding on to that warmth a little bit. Sarnia, 7 rather, Ridgetown 5, Windsor 8. And so, yeah, it's usual for this time of year. Still in the positives, which is nice. Overnight, though, we are going to dip below 0, -3, feeling more like -7, a little bit of a chillier night. Partly cloudy with some light wind, as we saw in that future forecast. The clouds are going to start rolling in overnight. Tomorrow morning, we're going to see them in full force, but like Tony and I said, give a little, get a little. So there's going to be some rain. It's going to be a little bit more cloudy, but that 13-degree weather is going to be beautiful, and we'll see that thunderstorm risk in the afternoon. Looking at our almanac now, expected high today was 5 degrees. We actually got up to 7 around 1 o'clock, so it was beautiful. A little bit above seasonal, which is 6. Overnight, as I said, -3, which is usually around -2. Not too bad. Sunrise 7:14, and that sunset, we're in that 4 o'clock hour now, 1 minute earlier than we saw yesterday. 4:58 was when the sun set today. Looking at our 7-day forecast, we already talked about it. We're going to see some rain these next couple days. So the weekend, I hope you got your sun in today, because it's going to be clearing out for the next couple days. But like we said, warm temperatures then dropping down. The sun's going to come back, but it will be a little bit cooler. Yeah, and then the clouds are going to return by later next week. Looking at Lambton, Kent, Essex, very similar to what we're seeing here. Chance for some rain, clouds. They are getting sun a little bit earlier than us, but all areas around here pretty much ending with that rain to the end of the weekend. And finally, in southern Georgian Bay, for viewers there, you're also going to get some rain. No one is clear of the rain this weekend, unfortunately, but the sun will be coming back. A mix of sun and cloud, very similar to what we saw earlier today. And then by that Thursday, Friday, it's going to be, I hate to use the word dreary, because I'm sure some people love the rain. So if you are one of those people, by Thursday, Friday, that is your time. And actually, our weather watcher photo, talking about southern Georgian Bay, that's exactly where our weather watcher photo is going to come from today. Paul Richards, thank you for sending this one in. Southern Georgian Bay area, Collingwood specifically.
Gorgeous.
He wrote in and said, you know, no northern lights. He wasn't able to see them because of all that cloud coverage, but they were treated to an incredible sunrise pop of color this morning. And it really just grounds you a little bit to see something so stunning like that. You see photos of it, but to see it in person, I can only imagine. So he said, you know, we've seen snow, rain, but it was so nice to just see that sunshine return.
Have you ever spent any time up around Georgian Bay?
A little bit. My husband and I spent some time in Thornbury, and so we go and visit Collingwood sometimes. So we're lucky to be right on the water there. And he wakes up at 4 a.m. That's not me.
Oh.
He gets to watch those by himself, but he takes photos for me. And he said, this is what you missed today, but they're just breathtaking. So once maybe I'll wake up and...
It is gorgeous, and it's a classic example of give a little, get a little, because you get stunning sunsets along Georgian Bay, but as I know from living in Barrie for almost a decade, you get some monster snow squalls.
The storms.
It snows for 3 days up there.
The snow's up there. You're right. Give a little to get a little, though.
You got it. It's all about balance. Thanks, Karis. A jury has reached its verdict in the 2-month art fraud trial of Jeff Cowan. Now, he's the man accused of producing hundreds of fake paintings said to mimic the work of famed Indigenous artist Norval Morrisseau. CTV's Mike Arcelides reports.
Jeff Cowan was found guilty on all 4 counts of fraud, convicted of passing off purported works of Norval Morrisseau as authentic pieces in the years following Morrisseau's death. Unanimously, all 12 jurors decided the Crown proved, beyond a reasonable doubt, Cowan was guilty of uttering forged documents, defrauding the public, along with 2 customers out of property valued at more than $5,000. With Cowan being the source of hundreds of purported Morrisseau works, police said were forgeries that flooded the art world.
I would argue that the very size of the fraud, estimated at $100 million by law enforcement, is itself evidence of just how important and beloved Norval Morrisseau's art is for Canadians.
John Zamanovich is a Morrisseau expert and art consultant. Morrisseau, widely considered the grandfather of contemporary Indigenous art in Canada, has been called the Picasso of the North. Since his death in 2007, the value of Morrisseau works has skyrocketed. Cowan maintained all along there was no way of knowing the works were not authentic paintings, claiming Morrisseau, who struggled with alcohol and substance abuse, did not have a consistent set of rules or standards on how he signed his paintings. Cowan said establishing provenance or documentation tracing works from its owner back to the artist is difficult with Morrisseau because of how he signed his art. Cowan says police took his records that are now missing. The Crown argued Cowan was the source of hundreds of mimic Morrisseau paintings and that he, along with Jim White and David Paul Bremner, were part of an art fraud ring that sourced, marketed, authenticated, appraised, and sold works they knew or ought to have known were not real Morso paintings. The investigation by the OPP and Thunder Bay Police led to guilty pleas from White and Bremner this summer and 2 other men in Northern Ontario. Cowan, who represented himself during trial, has not ruled out appealing the decision. Zemanovich says Morso's legacy is secure and will endure despite having been victimized by fraud.
As the market clears and becomes more confident and sees the results of all the work done by numerous people across this country, we will move forward and Norval Morso will reach the status that he deserves.
Cowan is scheduled to return to court in late December to set a date for his sentencing hearing. Mike Arsleedy, CTV News, Barrie.
It's a hassle many of us have to deal with every day, getting those annoying text emails that are connected to fraudulent activity. A new survey finds texting scams have jumped 50% in the last year, and you might be surprised to find out which group is most at risk. CTV's consumer reporter Pat Foran has more.
Many of us are bombarded with fake texts on a daily basis. It could be a message that looks like it's from your bank or a bogus delivery from Canada Post. And if you think you're getting more unsolicited texts and messages, you're right. A new Consumer Reports Cyber Readiness Report finds text scam attempts are up by 50%. And it might surprise you, they're growing the fastest among Gen Zers.
Scammers are trying to rip off young adults.
18 to 29-year-olds are getting scammed at record levels, and reports of text scam attempts from Gen Zers tripled.
And it makes sense. They text a lot. It's a primary form of communication, and they have instant access to money on their phone.
The survey also found lower-income households were 3 times as likely to lose money from scams. One way to try and protect yourself is to make payments using a credit card.
Credit cards are safer than many other payment methods because you have a right to request a chargeback when fraudulent transactions occur. Consumers who do not use credit cards have fewer rights to dispute fraud when it occurs.
Other ways to protect yourself: don't reply to random or unsolicited texts. Responding confirms your number is active, so fraudsters might keep bugging you or sell your number. Instead, block the number and mark it as spam. Next, cut down on text spam before it reaches you. Check with your phone carrier. Most offer free tools to filter or block unwanted messages. Also, watch out for phishing scams. Be suspicious of requests for personal information from text, emails, or messaging apps. If the message seems urgent or time-sensitive, that's another red flag. Finally, when shopping online, use a credit card. Other payment options may not offer the same protections. Pat Foran, CTV News.
Local connections to Canada's biggest football game. Coming up, CTV's Colton Weens gives us a Southwestern Ontario perspective on the CFL's Grey Cup.
I'm Heather Center, and the gift-giving season is fast approaching. But are tariffs dampening your holiday spirit? A new survey found Christmas spending may look a little different this year. That story is just ahead.
Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Home of Bounce Mornings with Angie Hill and Sarge. KW's Bounce 99.5. Listen on the free iHeartRadio app.
Well, holiday shopping is starting to kick into high gear, but tariffs may be squeezing the spirit of giving. A new survey found many Canadians plan to adjust their holiday spending this year because of tariffs, while digging for the deepest discounts. CTV's Heather Centerin just back from the mall now and joins us live. Heather, I got to say, this has been crossing my mind too. Yet I hear it was bustling with shoppers at the mall today.
But I expect it will be even busier in the coming weeks, Tony, with some big promotional shopping days coming up. A lot of people are hoping to get a head start on holiday shopping, but this year might look a bit different.
With Black Friday and Cyber Monday just around the corner, many people are getting their holiday shopping in now.
Look really early, because last minute there will not be as many good deals.
Some say the earlier, the better.
And for me in the wheelchair, it's a little too crowded in December.
While some are just starting to check things off their Christmas lists.
Pickled jelly cat, and then 2 squishies, and then a Pokemon mystery box.
Others are wrapping up.
Yeah, as of today, I'm all finished. I just have to wrap now.
A new BMO survey shows 3 in 5 Canadians are planning to adjust their holiday spending plans because of tariff concerns. This shopper says it's not so much about the ticket price, but more so where it's from.
I'm adjusting it to specifically looking for Canadian brands and shopping Canadian. So you may spend a little bit more that way, but it's worth it to keep it Canadian.
41% of respondents to the survey plan to cut back on spending this year, with many choosing to go for sale items only and buy less expensive gifts.
So I got some body wash and cream and also some body mist as well. For a good deal, I got it for like 20% discount.
But there's still some who say tariffs isn't impacting their spending habits at all.
That hasn't stopped me. I just spent a bag on Hollister.
Canadians plan to spend an average of just over $2,300 this holiday season. That's not just gifts. It also includes travel plans and accommodation as well, plus food and drink and decorations. According to the BMO survey, 50% of Canadians say even just thinking about holiday spending causes financial stress, with many saying it will take an average of 2 months to pay off their holiday bills. Tony.
Okay, Heather Centerin live with a look ahead to the shopping season. Heather, thank you. And let's recap our top stories now with Leanne Evans in studio. And, well, we've been talking about the ramp up to this for a little while now. Today's the day speed cameras across the province are officially offline.
Yes, that's despite calls from several cities to keep them, Tony. The region of Waterloo has 28 cameras set up in school zones across the region. The region says if you received a ticket on November 13th or before that date, you're expected to pay or dispute the fine. In place of the cameras, there will be signs which are expected to go up over the coming days and weeks as those cameras come down. A Guelph police constable's history and actions were once again analyzed today as Corey MacArthur fights to keep his job more than 9 years after the admitted assault took place. Today, the hearing went through MacArthur's medical records and assessments with numerous doctors. Also raised were MacArthur's performance reviews at work. The hearing is scheduled to resume November 24th.
And on this Friday, or as Karis put it, Friday, Leanne. You know, we are heading into the season where activities and events kind of ramp up again on the weekend, and our digital team's got some suggestions.
Yes, don't you love those holiday events as well?
I do.
If you are looking for something to do, we definitely have you covered. Tons going on in the community, from holiday shopping to markets and Santa Claus parades. Not just one, there's a couple of them happening this weekend. You can read all about those events, CTV News Kitchener. .ca. Crazy to think we're already at the Santa Claus parade timeline.
And I do love these weekends where the gatherings, the parties, the galas, the parades ramp up, but I also look forward to that one weekend in the middle where you just hunker down, maybe watch some Christmas specials.
All those Hallmark Christmas movies.
There are a lot of them out there. Thanks, Leanne.
Thanks.
And also this weekend, the 112th Grey Cup is happening Sunday between the Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Montreal Alouettes. Several local connections on the field in Winnipeg for that game, and those who helped them get there can't wait to watch. CTV's Colton Weens reports.
It was the play that sealed a berth in the 112th Grey Cup game. Guelph native Tommy Neild making the game-winning catch for the Saskatchewan Roughriders in the semi-finals over BC.
Can't really put it into words. It's just a super exciting moment. Thankful to be put in that position.
In high school, Neild was a star receiver when he attended Centennial Collegiate Vocational Institute in Guelph.
Tommy was kind of the local hero where he went to high school here at Centennial. Obviously, Guelph really wanted him, and he ended up going back, but he's still active in the community.
A.J. Allen coming from his. Former University of Guelph linebacker A.J. Allen is also expected to suit up for the Riders on Sunday.
I mean, it means everything, man. I got an opportunity to ball out with my friends, and that's really cool if you ask me, man. That's really cool if you ask me.
And AJ was the unheralded one, not highly recruited. Comes from a small school in Burlington.
Drafted in the 4th round in 2020, Allen was sent back to Guelph for a 5th year and re-signed with Sask in 2021. Spending most of his career on special teams, he's thrived since getting an opportunity on defense this season.
Just his confidence in his own skills that's why I'm not surprised that he's ended up where he has.
Former Griffin receiver Kian Schaefer-Baker also plays for the Riders.
So it's been cool to see all three.
There's 3 other former local Ontario University players on Grey Cup rosters. Wilfrid Laurier University alum Braden Knoll plays for Sask, but is currently hurt. Former Golden Hawk Scott Hutter and University of Waterloo's Jesse Gibbon play for Montreal, but are also injured. Experts say with how Canadian universities have invested in coaches and programs, they are producing more and more Canadian-born talent.
I think that's one of the biggest things I've seen changed in my 20 years being around the league. And that bodes obviously well for, players making that transition to coming up to pro football.
It's kind of gone from certain positions to being lucky to have a few Canadians to now the expectation is that youth sports players can go and be super productive and be the reason teams win.
The 112th Grey Cup kicks off on Sunday night at 6. It can be watched on TSN and CTV. Colton Weens, CTV News, Kitchener.
Friday night means the Kitchener Rangers hit the ice again, hosting the Sioux Greyhounds this evening. And before the puck drops, we'll hear from a rookie who's already scored 2 goals on this week's Beyond the Bench, which is coming up next. For hockey players, it's the biggest stage in the country, the ice at Scotiabank Arena. Today, some young players got the chance to hit that ice in an event aimed at removing barriers for kids who want to play hockey. CTV's Sean Leathong reports.
Little kids on the biggest stage.
It's just like crazy that this is like my dream of doing.
Today at Scotiabank Arena, kids from 5 local minor hockey associations got a chance to play on the same ice as the Toronto Maple Leafs use.
Fun, magical, and my dream came true today.
It's part of the Big Assist from the company Kruger, where 5 local organizations will each get $25,000 to help remove barriers for kids to play hockey. Some of the children as young as 6 got to enjoy things like
skating, about the jumping over the blue lines, yeah.
And they got a chance to work up close with one of the greatest to ever lace up a pair of skates.
Haley Wickenheiser signing my jersey and a card of her.
When I was 9-10 years old, if I would have had a chance to skate on NHL ice, I would have thought I died and gone to heaven.
Multiple Olympic gold medalist, former professional, and current member of the Leafs coaching staff, Haley Wickenheiser, was one of the celebrity coaches.
Being in the NHL it's stressful, it's business, it's there's a lot of things that are different than when you're in the minor hockey circles. And coming back to work with kids reminds me of why I love the game.
And falling in love with the game to these coaches and players is the most important skill to learn.
If you can get them to believe that they can achieve something, they're just going to love it more. They're going to want to do it more often. They're going to invest more of their time.
I know as a kid when I played house league, it was the highlight of my childhood, being able to play on an NHL sheet of ice.
And for those on the ice today, that holds true.
It's the best day of my life.
For some, today might be the beginning of a career that could end up right back where it started. Sean Leathong, CTV News.
A rookie with the Kitchener Rangers who's already scored 2 goals this season is sharing how his hockey journey began in Pittsburgh and what it means to play in Kitchener on this week's edition of Beyond the Bench.
As Anstis crashes forward, Anstis back in.
I am Avery Anstis. I play right wing, and this is my first year.
What a way to get your first career OHL goal!
I started playing hockey when I was 8 years old. My buddy, actually, we were skating around the Christmas tree down in Pittsburgh, and ever since then, I've just loved to play hockey. My dad says if he would have known how expensive it was, he would not have let me play, but too late now, yeah.
Gets around his man. Humphreys, he'll stop, spin, drop it back. Here's Anstis,
There's no better place to be than Kitchener. Like the atmosphere, the fans, we have everything here given to us, so it's a great spot to be.
That's a solid snapshot on the fly by the rookie forward, Avery Anstis.
My goal for the season, to win the OHL Cup, and then go to the Mem Cup, win the Mem Cup.
And we'll have more news in just a couple of minutes. First, let's check in with Karis.
Well, we know rain is on the way, but depending on what your plans are, you may stay dry. Coming up next, I'll let you know what to expect first thing tomorrow morning. Wake Up Weather is up next. Stick around on CTV for E-Talk starting at 7, followed by The Happy Place at 7:30. Then at 8, Celebrity Wheel of Fortune and Special Forces World's Toughest Test at 9. Boston Blue begins right after at 10.
Tonight, shoppers shifting holiday spending.
I'm finding the prices have gone up so much.
The economic challenge is biting into budgets and where Canadians are cutting back the most. Later on CTV National News.
105.3 Virgin Radio is KW's #1 hit music station. Home of Jeff, KP, and Backstage Ben in the morning. Listen to 105.3 Virgin Radio everywhere with the iHeartRadio app.
All right, we are going to check in with Leanne now for some stories we're keeping an eye on. Leanne?
Tony, we're following some developing news. A young person riding a scooter has been taken to hospital with non-life-threatening injuries after a crash in Cambridge. We'll bring you more details on that tonight. Also, the Kitchener Rangers about to drop the puck on the Sioux Greyhounds at the Odd, the evening dedicated to Hockey Fights Cancer Night. Fans are being invited to share who they fight for through personalized signs that will be available at the concourse. So we'll bring you more from the Odd at 11:30. Tony.
Oh, amazing. Should be some powerful moments there. Leanne, thank you for that. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend. And Karis is here with our Wake Up weekend weather, which is going to be a little bit 6, 7. You know, I had to say that once before somebody tells me that's last year's
I said
thing.
I would never make that reference. The fact that I just did it, I'm a little bit
forced it. Sorry.
That's okay. We can stay hip with the lingo. But for tomorrow, yes, the weather, it could be
2, 3?
1, 3, 1, 3. Yeah, so by 6 a.m. when people are first waking up, mix of flurries and that rain. It's going to be very slushy. Like I said, there is that KW Santa Claus Parade. That's meant to start at 10. So around that time, there's going to be a little bit of sunshine peeking out. But bring your parka, as you said earlier today.
Yes.
It's going to be very unpredictable. It could be raining 1 minute, some light flurries. But the Christmas spirit will be within, so it'll warm your heart and hopefully everyone around you.
It will be for sure. And I mean, if you remember any past Santa Claus parades, you know it can always be a little bit changeable as far as the weather goes.
Every year, I feel like that's the case.
Tough to plan.
Yes.
All right, well, finally tonight, after more than 80 years in business, it's last call at the iconic Imperial Pub in Toronto.
CTV's Beth McDonnell was inside the bar today as patrons said goodbye to the downtown institution.
From the wood wall paneling in the fish tank downstairs to the upstairs library with its comfy couches, sitting down at the Imperial Pub is the same as it always was. The only difference is come Saturday night, when after 81 years, the pub will open, then close for the last time.
Please don't leave. Please don't leave. I don't want you to go away. This is my local.
The property has been sold to make way for a student housing development. It's a hard reality for new and longtime customers alike. Why must Toronto say goodbye to a place like this, say some? Why couldn't they build around the pub, say others?
This is where I've been meeting these two friends of mine for years, and this is pretty much our last lunch. And who knows where we're going to go from here.
We've been coming here off and on since the 1970s. Love the fish, both on the plate and in the tanks.
Well, I wish we came earlier because I think it's interesting because we're sitting here just now just eating our burgers, listening to the folks talk around us, and you realize how many of them have been here regularly for throughout their lives. It's fun that we got to experience this tiny little bit of this piece of Toronto culture.
Many are making one last memory before the pub is gone for good. These former TMU students book the day off work.
I came from Kingston up for the day to come, and she just came from Etobicoke. What's so special about this? The walls here. Just the memories, the nostalgia, the cozy comfort. Budgets were tight, and it was a nice place to hang out. It's very always inviting, comforting. So it's sad.
The Imperial Pub opened in 1944 during the Second World War. The family running it says since the closure was announced, there's been an outpouring of affection from customers, which they truly appreciate.
I want the city of Toronto to know what an honor it has been for us to be able to
be here and operate for 81 years and have the city feel the way about us that they do, because that's how we feel about the city.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Toronto.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Thank you, Toronto. I got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now they've made us cry. Thank you very much.
Beyond the vintage aesthetics, it's the culture created here that so many say is what they're really going to miss.
I like it. It's funky, you know. It's it's friendly and it's unpretentious. You know, it's just a good hangout for a whole lot of different kinds of people.
Really embodies what Toronto's about. I see all different diversity in here. Students, elder folks, young family like us, and I really like that sort of atmosphere, bringing everyone together.
A place to have a pint, some food, see friends, and amongst the soft music on the speakers and chatter, experience the feeling of a welcome embrace. Beth McDonnell, CTV News.
Oh, well, I mean, I know time marches on, but that's sad. That looks like it has a lot of character. I've never been inside the Imperial.
I love bars like that. Even locally, I think of like the Edelweiss or Pub on King, like just places that if they were to shut down, it'd be devastating to our community. So it was nice to see all those people in there saying
It was, and just spanning the generations, too. That's amazing. All right, well, that's going to do it for us this week. We've appreciated having you along with us. Of course, we started the week with Remembrance Day a little bit earlier in the week on Tuesday, so we're going to leave you with some scenes from Kitchener and Waterloo during those ceremonies. But from all of us here, we'll see you back here tonight at 11:30. Have a great weekend.